And there's your over easy egg with absolutely no butter in the pan. And that pan is going to wash up just perfect. Hi, welcome to Muskrat Gulch. You know, some people just give up on their cast iron way too easy. They think it's a lot of work, it's too much trouble, so their stuff ends up looking like this one. And eventually the sadness really kicks in, and they end up looking something like this. And it's not fair. It's not fair to the cast iron, and it's certainly not fair to the cook, because believe it or not, that's still a great pan. I am looking forward to getting that one into the E-tank. This one is going to go into the lye tank. The lye will take off the old seasoning. The E-tank will take off the rust. And eventually, we're going to end up with a pan like this one. Now, today, I fried an egg in this with no butter. A little tiny bit of water, and that's all. It was an over easy egg and no butter in the pan. Tonight, we're going to use the same pan and make some cornbread. This is a pan that got saved from the scrap heap. This was at the end of a driveway. Now we're going to make some cornbread in it. Let's get at it.
Tonight on Muskrat Gulch, we're going to make an easy buttermilk cornbread in a rescued Lodge frying pan. This was salvaged from the end of a driveway. It was destined for a scrap heap. Somebody had given up on their cast iron. This is a really nice pan. So this is what we're using tonight. So the first ingredient is half a cup of butter that we're going to melt in the pan. The success of cornbread partially rests on the fact that you have a well-greased pan, and we need some melted butter for our recipe anyway, so I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. So we're going to gently melt this. And while we're waiting for that to melt, just going to turn the heat down a bit. While we're waiting for that to melt, we're going to mix together our dry ingredients. Our dry ingredients. I have a cup of all-purpose flour, to which I'm going to add a cup of cornmeal. We're going to combine that. Then a quarter cup of brown sugar. Next is a teaspoon of baking powder. A half a teaspoon of baking soda. And a quarter teaspoon of salt. And we're going to combine this in our dry ingredients. It only takes a moment to combine these. I'm going to get my whisk. We don't want this to be lumpy, the brown sugar. I guess it's a little bit lumpy. I'm just going to combine this until all the lumps are out of it. I'm going to keep an eye on my butter. And it seems to be melting nicely. There we go. I'm just going to make a little indentation in the center of that, of our dry ingredients. And we're going to start adding our wet ingredients. Our wet ingredients are a cup of buttermilk. Now, I actually went out and bought the buttermilk instead of making it. If you don't have buttermilk in the house, it's no problem. You can just add a cup of milk and a bit of lemon juice. There, my butter's melted. And a bit of lemon juice, and let it sit for a few moments, and then mix it up, and you have your buttermilk. But I splurged tonight and got the actual buttermilk. And then a quarter cup of honey. And this is local honey. Local honey is the best honey. It's got a really nice taste to it. add that. There we go. Okay, we've got 2 eggs that I've beat together. Actually, we had these frozen in the freezer. That we got a really good deal on the eggs, and we froze them for baking needs. So we're going to add this to our batter. There we go. And the next thing we're going to add is our butter. I'm going to combine that egg just a little bit so that when I add in the warm butter, it doesn't cook the egg too much. You can see that our butter is melted nicely. I'm just going to swish this around and make sure the pan is very well coated. I might even get my brush and just make sure that everything's coated. I'm just going to coat this around so that our cornbread doesn't stick. So that's really nicely coated. All right. My glove. There we go. That nicely coated butter pan will make the edge of the cornbread really nice and crispy. Get rid of this. I'm going to combine my batter. It's not going to be a terribly thick batter. You don't want to beat this or mix it too much, or you'll have a tough cornbread. We want this to be really nice and fluffy. So I'm just going to do that. And now we're ready to put it in the pan. I've reheated my skillet and you can see that the butter is bubbling. We want a nice crispy crust on this cornbread. So what I'm going to do is put my batter in there. We're apt to hear this sizzle. Maybe a little bit. Put that batter in there. Look at all that yummy goodness. There we are. We're ready for the oven. We're going to put this in a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for 20 to 23 minutes. Middle rack, preheated oven, and I'm going to put the timer on for 20 minutes. Okay, timer's gone off. 23 minutes. I'm going to take this out and stick a knife in it, see if it comes out clean. I'm going to run the knife around the edge. That looks great. Right down the center. And the knife comes out clean.
It's done.
This is done. Now I have to let it cool in the pan for just a little bit.
You leave it on the stove or put it on
I'll probably put it on a hot dish thing and put it over here on the table. We're going to let this cool for a bit before we take it out of here. And if it's got any cooking left to do and continue cooking, the cast iron retains its heat very well. Our cornbread's out of the oven and it's ready to eat. It's best served a little warm with a little bit of butter. I'm going to cut it now. Rick, come and get a piece. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe.
Oh, that looks good. But it's hot. Oh, get the butter. All right, we're eating cornbread tonight.